Hey guys, this is Dr. Anand. So I'm just making a video on health and fitness. Let me remind you guys, all the videos from onwards from here will be directly or indirectly be under the umbrella of the health and fitness. I will be picking one of the most uh, essential topic every day or every alternate day, and I will be talking about those topics in brief, not talking about the technicalities of those things, but talking about those things in brief. And these things are of so much important if you consider it under health and fitness. What sorts of impacts it might bring if you don't follow certain things, and what sort of things, what sort of changes, what sort of the positive impacts it might bring if you consider it, if you try to follow it for a longer period of the time. So I'm just starting my video. This is just my first video. I think I had some video which I had shot in 2016. It was, I think I had sung some song. I don't remember it, but this video I'm starting seriously. So I don't think there will be much more edit in this. It will be particularly raw. So if I can get much more feedback in this, and I will be talking about health and fitness in the upcoming days. So let's not discuss so much of time into some of the unnecessary details. So from the vast area of the health and the fitness, today the topic which I'm going to discuss is sleep. Name. Why sleep is so much important in our life? Do you think is it overrated, or do you think it is underrated? Why sleep should be adequate according to some people, and why sleep is not so much importance? You don't need to pay much attention to sleep according to some people. So let's think about it. Basically, if when we are in the younger days, as I'm talking about, basically when you are in the 20s, 30s, or even consider the people who are in the 40s, we are in the continuous process of working. We don't get much time, and we are literally working very, very hard in order to have a good lifestyle, good living standards, and basically providing for the family. When we have got so much responsibilities to give, to provide for the family, you don't pay much attention to the sleep. So is it gonna bring some of the negative or the detrimental impact into your life, or you don't really see the impact of it until when you are in the 50s? So the answer is, the brutal truth is, yes. If you don't pay much attention to your sleep, if you just shy away from discussing, and if you just try to hide it, they see the impact is pretty much soon, but most of the people try to avoid it, because basically in the younger days what happens is, you have got so much of the energy, you have got so much of vibes, positivity, or you can say the urge to work, that you don't pay much attention. And when your energy, quantity of energy basically gets whacked down when you are reached the 40s and the 50s, you see the impact of it, and the impact is very, very serious. So sleep should be adequate. Some of the people might argue that 6 hours of sleep is enough. Some of the people argue no, 8 hours of the sound sleep is enough, and some of the people might say that 4 hours of sleep should be adequate. If you go according to the textbook, 8 hours of sleep is essential. But if you even follow 6 hours of the sleep continuously without interrupting it, without changing it quite often, that so see, today I'm gonna sleep for 6 hours, and tomorrow I'm gonna just sleep for 4 hours, and day after tomorrow I'm gonna sleep for 8 hours. No, it's gonna work. You need to have a proper sleep. I know it's very difficult to manage. It's not so much easy. It's very, very tedious. It wholly depends on the amount of work you do. It wholly depends on the kind of work you do. It wholly depends on the support and the kind of what you say, friends and the peers, and what sorts of the society and the lifestyle are you being accustomed to. So I'm going to talk about the detrimental effects of the lack of sleep. What's of the detrimental effects it's going to bring to your life when you sleep less? Basically, the number one is sleep basically makes you dumb. If you don't get enough sleep, see, the when you talk about the mind, when you talk about how we function, all of you know that the brain is the most important organ in the body. Yeah? It basically controls everything. Same as from the health sector, so I'm not going to talk to you about the technical activities. It controls voluntary things, it controls involuntary things. Voluntary things means the things which are under your control. Sorry, not the involuntary things, but basically the voluntary things, the things which are under your control. Involuntary things means how the heart functions, these are the what do you say, uh, how the brain functions. These sorts of the things are the involuntary. You can't control it. You can't control your dreams. You can't control your anxiety. You can't control your stress. If you have been accustomed to so much of the pressure, then you can really get stress and the anxiety. So I was on the topic. So it basically affects the cognitive abilities of your mind. When you don't get enough sleep, it's very difficult to have the same amount of the reasoning. It's very difficult to have the same amount of the intelligence. It's very difficult to have the same amount, to carry the same amount of the thinking, to think about any other topic, to think about any situations when you are not accustomed to the sleep, or when you are accustomed to the proper good sleep. So you can basically note the difference. The timing to question, the timing to reserve, the timing to have a proper intelligent discussion basically gets decreased by manifold when you don't get enough sleep. So now let's talk about the physical conditions. In physical conditions there are so many things, but we're going to talk about the lifestyle diseases. Lifestyle diseases are basically, invariably, there are two lifestyle diseases which are most prominent in our society. They are the diabetes mellitus and blood pressure. Most of the people might argue these sorts of diseases, both diseases are the genetic diseases. Hypertension is basically the number one cause, is essential hypertension, which is the number one cause. 90% of the cases of the people suffering from hypertension, essential hypertension, these are the all are the technical things. But due to the lack of sleep, your probability, your chances of getting these sorts of the diseases gets manifested to many extent. It's not like that when you don't sleep you are gonna get these sorts of the diseases by tomorrow only, by day after tomorrow only. But no, it's not like that. But your chances of getting these sorts of diseases as compared to the people who are having a good and adequate sleep is far more. So you need to have a clear vision. I'm not talking that you are gonna get it by day after tomorrow, but yes, if you continue it, means the lack of sleep for a longer run, then it is an invariable, or what you say, indispensable thing that you are gonna see the consequences, or you are gonna see the changes. You are gonna see the change either in the blood sugar, either in the triglyceride level, or in the what you say, the blood pressure patterns. It is a truth. So now let's talk about um, the stresses. When you talk about the stresses, uh, anxiety, the inability to talk or communicate with anyone, the psychiatric conditions, depression, maniac, or any of the psychiatric illnesses are manifested many times, means it gets increased to many folds if you don't sleep adequate. It's also a fact. Means the anxiety, uh, I'm gonna provide you by an example. Let's talk, you are working in a multinational company. You have your shift of about 8 hours, and after 8 hours, your boss suddenly tells you that, see, XYZ, and you have got so much of the work, and I need you to spend your night over here for the upcoming 7 days. Means you have to work the double shift for the upcoming 7 days in order to finish any of the project or the target which have been given you by the company. So when you take that advice, or when you take that order from the boss, and it means that you have to do the work anyhow. So when you work continuously both day and night, I'm talking about the little break which you should take in between, but if you work for 17 to 18 hours continuously for 7 to 8 days, then you can see the differences, and you can clearly see what sorts of the vision or the mind are you in. You will definitely lose interest in talking to anyone. You will lose interest in talking to your family members, your close friends, your peers. You will basically get irritated even by the minor and the simple arguments which are of basically no value when we had thought about it about a particular week ago. So these are some of the stresses, anxiety, are going to manifest it to many extent when you get accustomed to the lack of sleep. So I'm just ending my video right over here because it's getting too much of the longer. So send me your feedback, guys. Send me your comments. Do you basically like that this video, or I need to change something? I need to talk about any other thing, you can give me the topic which you can think is which you think is important to you. So you can send me your feedback, and I'm gonna basically change it. It's just my, like what you said, the pilot video. Basically the people who are, well, who are habituated of watching the Netflix, they might be knowing what does the pilot means. So this is my pilot video. I know there will be criticism, there will be some of the negative feedbacks, but I'm ready to take it all. You can just have me say, and I'm gonna improve it in the next video. Okay, so this is Ananja signing off. Bye.